Hey kids, Louisiana Beer Reviews. David and your host Jay here. We are doing some blind beer reviews. Jay just went ahead.
One.
Oh, excuse me. We're doing one blind beer review. Jay just pulled this out.
And you didn't look, so he doesn't know what it is.
I didn't look. It smells pretty good.
I'll give you some info on it, okay? Came out in 1998. Oh,
Foreign and domestic.
retraction. Came out in 2003.
Foreign and domestic.
Domestic.
Okay.
It's 6% alcohol, and it's not rare.
So this is highly available everywhere.
It's a lager.
6%
You
alcohol.
can get it in bottles or cans, glass, plastic, or
Okay.
cans.
Is this an ice or is this a?
Well, I want you to taste it and give me your assessment, and then we'll talk about it. We don't get
Well, in a minute. I'm not ready to taste it yet.
Right.
I wanted to get to a certain level.
It is a lager.
Okay. It's 6%.
Lager.
And we can get this anywhere.
Practically, yeah. McDonald's, the gas station, Winn-Dixie, maybe Winn-Dixie, yeah.
So it could be budget beer.
Possible.
Okay.
What'd you get on the aroma? No skunk.
It tastes like one of those high gravity beers.
Yeah. 6%, that's kind of like getting into high gravity, but at the lower end of it. You know, it's not one of those 8 or 9%.
Okay. Well, if there was such thing as a high gravity light beer, this would be it.
Yeah, I think the
Because
calorie.
it's got the characteristics of an ice, but then it's got a sharp bite to it.
Body is pretty big, but not heavy, medium, high medium maybe.
And it kind of lingers a little bit.
Not bitter.
No, well, once you get past the first sip, it kind of like, exercises your palate for the rest of it that's coming.
And you were asking me, have we had it before together? And I said, no, we have not.
Mm.
And
This is one of those no-name, high-gravity that you come across and
No.
try to fool me all the time.
It's not a store brand or private label. No, it's an actual brand that is made. It has a website. There's a web page for it. There's nutritional information. There's a list of ingredients I can get. But you know what those are: water, barley malt, corn syrup, more than likely that brewer's syrup.
Oh, it's got barley malt to it?
Oh yeah, hops, hop extract. There is a stronger version of this. This is the 6%, which most people in America cannot get. When this first came out in '98, we got the 8%, which I always found a little harsh. But Louisiana has been rolled into the 6% market.
Oh, this is just hurricane beer then.
That's a good guess, but it's not.
Okay.
So, anyway,
It's along the lines of Colt 45 tasting
which I've noticed is disappeared.
Schlitz malt liquor.
Yeah.
You can get it on the West Bank.
Colt 45
Yes.
seems to have
18.
kind of died out. Yeah.
Well, I think there's different distributorship lines
You're right about that.
because of the bridge crossings and the proximities of the river and how far these bridge crossings are and what's over there as opposed to here.
Oh, in this parish, they had the brewery company had to intervene in a war between the
So
distributors.
I know if you go down to 310 before you get in, like you had in Jefferson Parish, if you take that bridge over into Luling, you can go to a store there called Majoria's and they sell the 18-ounce
Colt 45.
Colt 45.
Because he used to sell them at racetrack here, and it just literally disappeared the last
Gotta
few
be
months.
different distributors then.
It probably is.
It was
It's probably
about a
Crescent.
month ago.
Yeah, it's probably Crescent Crown over there, and it's probably Jim Carrey here.
Well, if it's Crescent Crown, we should have it in New Orleans. I haven't seen it in New Orleans. I haven't seen those 18-ounce bottles.
Yeah, and they used to have the 16-ounce six-pack cans everywhere of Colt 45. But anyway, this is not that. But what's
You're gonna catch one of those mom and pop stores, you know, in the not so clean areas of town. We always just see a group of guys out enjoying cans of beer and cutting up with each other.
Asking you what time it is,
Yeah, or if you got spare change for them,
or you got a light.
so they can, because they spend all their money on their Colt 45s. But I find in those areas, if you just go ahead and buy them beer, they're okay. You know, the beers are cheap anyway. That's why they're hanging out.
I like what you told that one guy. I'm not talking to you. Remember that?
Yeah.
Okay. What score would you give this?
Yeah, it's pretty good. I'd give it like a B, not knowing what it is. I mean, I can't.
I like the.
Not that brand recognition is really going to change, but it's that sharp bitterness. I mean, you have to keep on drinking the beer to keep the sharpness.
So you find it is a
at
little
bed.
better. There is a hop
The
note.
very first drink I got, I wouldn't call it bitterness hop.
It is hops. But at first it wasn't in play. I say this all the time.
It was sharp. It was real sharp. I've never had a hop note like that before.
I'll say
I've
this.
had the grassy hop notes we get from the European beers. I've had the American hops where they go all over the place with these different
This is kind of
cascades,
cutting.
citrus.
Yeah, but
and
those
all
are
this
fruity. Some of those are fruity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah, this one's
fruity.
like a real sharp cut. It's got a real beer taste to it.
Let me say this on the internet here.
Online. Go ahead.
You ever notice, like, and I just want to say this real fast. You ever notice, like, when you do IPAs that be real high IBUs, at first it's like, man, this isn't really bitter. But then as you drink it, it starts to build. It comes into play more. You ever notice that?
Yeah.
The same thing happened here because when I first sipped it, I said no bitterness, and now I'm starting to pick up a little hop bitterness at the end.
I guess it's like anything. It's made to drink and enjoy, not to slug. Now I can see some of our.
I think a lot of people probably slug this. If you slug this whole bottle, it might be a mistake, but it's still cold.
Steel Reserve. I was
211.
so close.
You were close.
So close.
Now, when it used to be independently owned before Miller bought it, they had this little indication here that says SR now, Steel Reserve, but it used to say 28 days. It was aged 28 days. They had a certification for that. But Miller bought it, and that suddenly disappeared. So now it's aged. Who knows?
I gotta give myself another sip.
All right, watch it because it's a strong one.
Oh, I know. That's a small glass. Let me check it out.
Extra barley, they say, and it does
It
taste like
says 6% alcohol, high gravity lager. The Steel Brewing Company, Steel Reserve. Extra malted barley and selected hops for extra gravity. I never knew.
extra alcohol is what they really mean, but they can't say that on the label.
Okay, well, it's very good. It's the old plastic bottle, which ain't bad. I mean, if you're traveling, you know, people talk about get it in the can. You know, it's this, it's that. You can recycle it. You can do it that. You can wash out and fill it with water. So when you get dehydrated, you can.
And it's certified kosher. And another thing about
And you
this,
can put that in your knapsack, and it's not gonna leak.
right? Another thing about it's 164 calories, so it's kind of filling, and it's extra malted barley and select hops. I don't know what the hops are. Probably just standard Miller hops. Look, they bought the company. You know who developed this? The people that
cold brew thing.
The people that started Steel Reserve are the people that make the Arizona iced tea. They started Steel Reserve, and it was like a specialty strong lager. And then Miller said, "We want that." And I guess they showed them, "Here's how much we'll pay you" in 2001. And the people were like, "We'll take it," you know. And so they took it and they made a 6% version. They made an 8% version, and then there's the famous or the infamous black can, the triple export, which we can't get in Louisiana. It's the same ABV, but it's everybody that tries it knows it's different. So you think this is all right?
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's not bad.
It really is a malt liquor, but it doesn't say malt liquor.
Right.
It says high gravity lager.
It's along the lines of OE 800. Heck, it even comes in the same package. So
Yeah, and I like the Old English 800. I use that as one of my benchmarks.
there's a difference in the taste in the hops. The mouthfeel's about the same. This one's a little lighter.
I'm glad you mentioned that. This would be a good taste challenge between OE 800 and this.
It'd be neck and neck. I mean, I don't know if you could on a blind test taste the difference between the two, unless you remember the sharpness of the bitter note of the hop. That'd be the only way, I would think.
But for $1.99, a 42 ounce, I'm not complaining.
No, I mean that's pretty much like 50 cents a can. Anytime you get 50 cents a can, go for it. It's like
Go for
that case of Lager de Lights for Lager de Lakes.
Lager of the
for
Lakes,
$12.
yeah. Oh,
That's 50 cents a can.
Yeah, that was like a very unusual
You go,
thing.
yeah, you go for that. That's right. I might see if they got more.
All right, folks, so Les Le Bon Temps Relais, a very interesting blind taste test. There will be more coming up in the future, I do believe. I'm going to end this review by saying, y'all come on down to St. John the Baptist Parish, Louisiana.